Hi, y'all. It's Rick here on a Friday afternoon. I hope things are well where you are in the world today as you're watching this. A little chilly here in Central Ohio, so I'm going back through my hoodies and wearing a few as we go through these overcast, not yet spring feeling days. Let us, though, recognize that no matter how the weather feels on any given day, whether the sun is shining or not, we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of God and each other. Before I share with you a reflection on something that I participated in, I shared in over the last day and a half, I just want to quickly follow up on the post that I did last night about the Supreme Court's decision and Abrego Garcia. You'll recall that he is the young man, father of a 5-year-old, living legally in the United States under orders to not be deported, was deported and is currently in that El Salvadoran prison, that gulag of a terrible, terrible place. So you'll remember that. Today, the judge who the Supreme Court handed it back to said the government needed to give her a plan as to what they are going to do. The Trump regime needed to say, this is what we are going to do to, to try to do their best to bring this person back, this individual back. And they dragged their feet. They said they needed to wait till next Tuesday for this. And the judge wanted nothing to do with that. There was apparently a hearing at 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's a little after 2 as I record this. The government didn't show up. And I was just reading a really good article. I'll try to put a link to it here in the chat by Aaron Blake at the Washington Post, talking about what this is setting up and where this is likely to go. I'm not going to go into the details here. I'll encourage you to read that article. But at this point, again, we are right on the verge of a tremendous moment if and when Trump defies the Supreme Court. The last bulwark, the last place that we are pushing back formally against the Trump regime will have been disobeyed and ignored. So we're almost there, folks. We need to very carefully pay attention to this. That's not, though, what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about today something that I think probably most of us are able to do pretty well, and we take it totally for granted, and that is to see, right? Eyesight is an amazing thing. I remember the first time whenever I was in grade school, whenever it was, learning about light and how it hits the eye and it comes in upside down and rods and cones and all of those things, the focusing. I mean, it's just absolutely astounding. And yesterday and then this morning, I was able to be of service to my mother-in-law and accompany her as the person that goes with her to cataract surgery. And she had the first eye yesterday done successfully. We went for a follow-up visit this morning. Eye doctor said she's doing great. And then next Thursday, Holy Thursday, she will go in for the other eye. And this has just given me an opportunity to just reflect upon how amazing this surgery is. I mean, as I understand it, they basically have, in the span of like 20 minutes yesterday, basically the doctor removed the cataract, which again, a cataract is kind of like a film or like think of a smudged window or glasses with a smudge. And I'll get to that here in a second. Think about that you're seeing through that. And a cataract comes in, it removes that. And at the same time, an artificial lens, an implant is placed onto the eye so that the person has their vision corrected. So not only is it cleaned up to be able to see more clearly, meaning not through a film, not through a dirty window or similar, but to really actually be able to have their eyesight fixed in significant ways. I mean, it's truly, truly miraculous. And it's miraculous on top of what is already doubly, triply miraculous, which is the eye and how the eye functions, right? And I was kind of aware of this power of eyes and eyesight because I recently got new glasses, and they're actually not the ones that I have on. They are another pair that look similar to this. These are my computer glasses. I can see better when I'm on the computer as opposed to my other glasses. But my other glasses, I like to have glasses kind of tight on my face. It's just a preference. And it so happens that because of the way they're shaped, I keep getting little smudges on the inside of my left lens. And it's not terrible, but it's similar to what I described with a cataract, where I'm looking through uh, 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 my glasses, and there's this smudge, right? And, you know, I realized that I have a number of options here, right? Part of me is like, oh man, I got the wrong glasses. I need to get a new pair of glasses, or I need to get these adjusted, and maybe I will get them adjusted at some point. But I can't get a new pair of glasses. That's crazy. I just bought these like a couple months ago, right? So I need to figure out some kind of a solution, or a mindset change. So I came up with this idea, and I'm really trying to practice this. And it's this idea of little prayers done at specific times or in specific actions, right? That we have these times of our day, the beginning of work or the ending of work or the leaving of the house. I mean, it could be any time, really. It doesn't really matter, but a moment where we consciously say a prayer, or are just in touch with the more, which is God, right? To just open ourselves up and be present to that. And I decided that it was particularly helpful for me, and I think also symbolic, that whenever I take my glasses off and clean my lenses, spray on the little cloth and then wipe the lenses off. As I'm doing that, it takes 30 seconds, whatever, to be able to say a prayer thanking God for my eyesight and praying for vision, right? Being able to see better. And by better, I don't just mean, through the glasses and the smudge that's no longer there, but to see God more clearly, to see God more closely, to recognize God everywhere and in everything, right? I even take it further to pray for those who are blind, literally blind, who cannot see, and especially those who are psychologically blind or blinded by idolatry, blinded by the cult of personality, blinded by lies and beliefs in conspiracy theory, blinded by hatred, right? And you know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, right? And to be able to pray for those people with compassion, because I too am blind. I have my blind spots. We all do. It's built into our eye. We have that literal blind spot in our eye, right? So I've just been practicing this for a few days, and it really is making a difference, because instead of cursing the film on the inside of my glasses, the fuzziness, the smudge, I am seeing it as a blessing, right? Because it's an opportunity for me to say thank you and to commune and to connect with the more, capital M, capital O, capital R, capital E, who is God, who is with me in that. So this connects to a prayer that I read this morning. It was in the Celtic prayer book, and I've shared before. It is similar to a prayer that I saw the other day. I think I shared it here, about seeing Christ, like seeing Christ in the face of my dog, and seeing Christ in the birds who are hungry outside my window. Well, this is kind of a similar idea. I like just the playfulness. There's some really good playfulness here. And I think, y'all, and I'll make this my last thought before I share this prayer and wrap up. I just was listening as I was preparing my lunch to a Substack live with Joy Reid, who you might know from being on TV. And she, like others, Jim Acosta and others, have been deplatformed off of corporate mainstream media. And now they are on Substack doing really wonderful, wonderful work. And she was asked, like, what do we do in a time like this? Like, how do we respond. And she had what I would consider a spiritual answer. She says we have to hold joy. And she was funny. This is Joy Reid, right? She says not joy, capital J, joy, lowercase j, right? To be able to hold that, because authoritarians want us to be joyless. They want us to be in fear. They want us to suffer like they're suffering on the inside. I heard, I don't know if I think it was the same interview. She was talking about how Donald Trump has no sense of humor, that he doesn't laugh. And that's so true. And I think that when we can laugh at absurdity, when we can laugh in joy, not laughing at other people's expenses, but laughing at the sheer beauty and joy of life, found even in little prayers like this one I'm about to read to you, that we can win, and we will win. It may not be today or tomorrow, but we will win. Win the battle with love, win the battle with joy. So let's pray. Give me eyes to see you strong in the oak tree, eyes to see you constant in the mountains, evergreen in fir and pine, eyes to see you playful in the otter, swift in cheetah paws, gentle in giraffes, humble in earthworms, proud in lion and lynx, flowing in bright stream, soft in bird feathers, and solid in stone. So may we today, as we leave this time of reflection and prayer, do just this. See clearly, open our eyes, clean off the smudges to be able to more clearly see God in creation, and especially in our neighbor, especially those who are most vulnerable. So thank you all. Blessing and good. Be well.